What's going on, guys? Got something awesome to share with you today. I got the new Warrior Rabil X head in the mail today. Looks really nice. First impressions, it's actually a really nice head. What you expect from a partnership between Rabil and Warrior. Probably the coolest thing is the sidewall. It's got this two-color inserts instead of just being the one color like the Evo, and then down in the throat having the jewel. There's two places of colors. This one's Carolina and black. It's got this white piece in the middle, and it's got a bunch of sidewall holes. The other thing, it's a really nice shape for an X-Spec head, really long here and then flares out. It's going to let you generate that high pocket and really customize it with all the sidewall holes on the side. And then it also has his logo down here where they normally have the jewel for the Evo 3s. They got the Rabil and it matches the color in the sidewall. And then they also have this kind of space-looking silver laminated white ball stop that's not very padded. It's actually very hard. Kind of a strange ball stop. I don't think it's really going to do anything to cushion the ball in here, but with the massive offset of this head, I don't think you're going to really need a ball stop that much. And then that's about it. It's got that really deep offset. They're calling it true offset, so you can see how far it bends down right here. It's going to give you, the really deep pocket, allow you a lot of acceleration on shots because the displacement behind the shaft. And the other thing I like is they got rid of they've been doing this like on the Cobras now and also on the M80s. The Evo 3 has a little bit, they normally like bevel here to protect your sidewall or your top string. But I find a lot of the times when you're going for a ground ball, you just kind of push it around because of that beveled edge. The head doesn't really lay totally flat on the ground. And I like more of a pointed scoop that's going to allow me to pick up the ball in traffic a lot easier. And that's everything. This guy has enough screws if you want, or holes if you want to do traditional pocket. They look pretty thin to me though. That's something that kind of concerns me. But it is reinforced from the bottom, which is nice to see. And it has a little X back here, right there. You can see it, so you know it's universal. And then up here they have the Warrior logo like they did on the Blade Pro. So that's a nice touch. It's good. It's got a lot of nice design features. The only thing that really bothered me about the head is as soon as I picked it up, I thought it was an M80X. Pretty much the same exact shape. I'll go through the differences of the head from top to bottom. Starting at the top, the M80X is a little bit thicker scoop in terms of height. It's a little bit bigger here. And then the holes are different. They're the same placement, but the Rabil head has a little hole here, and this has the big ones, 6 big ones going across. I like the big ones. It allows you to do more for traditional stringing, in my preference. Probably the biggest difference is going to be the sidewalls. As you can see, the Rabil's got the 3 sidewalls and then all those sidewall holes, and then the M80X has a big void in the middle, and then has all their own sidewall holes. I believe this one has 19 and this one has 15 or 14 sidewalls. So the M80X has a great stringing layout, and I really enjoy stringing them. I don't know if having 19 holes is really going to help you that much more than this would, but it's nice to have the option. I just think it's going to be a pain to do patterns for this where you're like 0001, 002, 002. I think that's going to be kind of annoying, but it's cool that they allow you to be able to string that many, put that many sidewall holes in it for. It's very similar to the clutch. I do like the sidewalls better for the Rabil head. Also the sidewalls themselves, these are about 3/16 of an inch when they're only just over a quarter on the M80X. So this head is stiffer. That is probably the biggest difference between the two, is the Rabil head is stiffer. They pretty much have the exact same offset. The only difference is the Rabil's one is a little bit elongated, while the M80X is a little bit more abrupt. I think maybe they found that this head is great for a mid or a low pocket because it's really going to give you a ridiculous offset and a lot of hold. But maybe when you went to a high pocket, it gave it a little bit of a stranger feeling because the offset was so low. So they kind of just made it a little bit more gradual. And then the other thing is the throats. It's pretty much the other big difference between the sidewalls are the throats. The M80X is much longer, and that's because the space from here to here is shorter than on the Rabil head. The Rabil has a deeper actual throat for the pocket, but not an actual physical throat. It's much shorter, and they're a different design. I like the M80X throat better because it reminds me of the kind of OG style throat that you see. I really like that hourglassing shape, and I don't really like the Rabil logo. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'd much rather see the Rabil logo here so I could replace it, and then just a Warrior logo here, or a Warrior logo here, and then a Rabil one with kind of the ghost thing that they did, the reversed, just because I don't mind Rabil, but I like the Warrior logo. I have kind of an attachment to it because I've used their products for so many years. And then in here they kind of have, like the M80 just has it kind of written here, and this they did a nice feature on this, kind of what they did with the Blade Pro. There's Warrior in here, and it's got a little bit of texture to it, and then on this side it says Rabil. It's got a little texture to it, and then on the back they have an X right here, so you can know it's a universal head. And then the other thing is this, the throat holes on the Rabil head. They're kind of big holes, but have not much reinforcing, and on the M80 they're kind of smaller holes and they have a lot more reinforcing. So I feel like this would be a better head in terms of breakage, probably for traditional stringing. Overall, it's pretty much your preference. I mean, this one is like $20 more, but you get a lot more customization in terms of colors, so that's pretty cool. And I do like the styling more of this head, of the Rabil head. I do like the sidewalls. I just don't really care for the throat as much, and I like the the top holes here, and I don't mind the sidewalls here. Pretty much the biggest thing it comes down to is beefiness. This one is much more rigid than this one. I've heard that the M80 hourglasses after a while because there's such a void here, but that also makes it a decent face-off head because it's got that longer throat. It's very stiff, and it's also stiff at the top. So I like the M80X, but I also like this. I just kind of wish that there's been so much hype and talk around this head. I kind of wish they came out with something different than the M80X. I was kind of excited for this to kind of be a really cool, revolutionary head that they speak of, not a kind of Rabil seeing this and liking this and kind of like just tweaking it and doing a lot of marketing behind it. But all in all, they're two great heads. You're getting good products. It's just pretty much based on what you want and what you're looking for in terms of color or overall stiffness. I do think this would be a better head for middies because it's stiffer. It's going to allow you to throw checks, and then also the longer head with the I guess the less drastic offset is going to let you really crank the ball, and it's going to be a little bit more smoother than the more aggressive offset of the M80X. I think they're just calling it M80 now, but the more of an attackman, this one might be nicer. It's going to give you a little bit more flex on the head for snapping shots a little bit more, and it's also going to give you a more aggressive pocket. But yet again, they're very similar. Very similar. I would just go with whatever one you like more, like visually, because you'll be more happy with it in the end. And that's everything, guys. So that's the kind of my first review of the Rabil X head. I'm going to string it up, and I'll give you guys kind of my 2 cents. I'm really interested to see the sidewalls and see if that helps me get a more defined pocket. I don't think it was going to give me any more than this, especially because the flaring of the head is going to really let generating that higher pocket be pretty easy. And but that is offered in a lot of cool colorways. I saw the black with like the white and the gray, and I thought that would be pretty cool if I do some yellow in it for a throne themed stick. Because I like the sidewalls. They're probably one of the coolest sidewall designs I've seen. It's very clean, but has a really aggressive edge to it, and I really like it. It's very similar, like because Rabil used to clutch a lot because you couldn't use Maverick and the MLL. This is kind of like, in many ways, a clutch-esque head, I would feel like, especially with the sidewalls and the overall flair of it. But it is pretty much an exact copy of the M80X, just with a little bit of tweaks. So that's everything, guys. Let me know if you're going to pick one up or if you're just going to go with the poor man's Rabil head, the M80X, which I think is going to be a big head in college this year. I see a lot of guys picking them up with the new rules that might be passed. I think this is going to be the head to go with to get you the best channel because of the flare, especially because most guys were using Evo, like Evo Lights and Evo 2.0 to try and get a really wide head, and then they're going to drop the pocket way down and give them the channel. And I think this is going to be the way to really give you a channel throughout the whole pocket until it hits those shooters up top. So I mean, you're going to see a lot of these in college this year, and I don't know if you'll see Rabil heads in college. I feel like guys would try and stay away from a branded head such as this, but we'll see what happens. So talk to you guys soon.